Yo, what's going on, guys? Mash is here with a brand new video, and today I want to talk about something way different than anything I've ever talked about on my channel. So I know it's been quite some time since I've actually uploaded, and I've had a lot of time to think in my absence. Really had a lot of time to reflect and look back and think, what was the best Fallout game to ever be created? Did you say Fallout 3? Did you say Fallout New Vegas? Well, I mean, you're both right. There's no wrong answer, really, because I mean, every individual Fallout game did put Fallout on a map, a different kind of map respectively each time. But if you look back, I'm sorry, but nothing beats Fallout 4. The post-launch DLC when Fallout 4, it wasn't great, but it was something. But the main thing that projected Fallout 4 into probably one of the greatest Fallout games of all time, not story-based, of course not story-based, but really the best Fallout game of all time has a lot more to do than just story-based. Think of all the players that Fallout 4 got into the Fallout franchise. Think of how many people today just wouldn't even play a Fallout game if it wasn't for Fallout 4. Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas was off-putting to a bunch of people, even though it was an amazing game. A lot of people just didn't try it. Fallout 4 had that hype factor as it was announced at E3 saying it would come out that November, and I believe it was 2015, was it? That was just unheard of at the time. No one was doing that. So the fact that Fallout 4 is like, yeah, so we're coming out this year, that got a lot of heads turned. It got a lot of attraction, and look what it did. It sold millions. Now, is Fallout 4 a buggy mess of a game that has so many issues? Yeah, but I mean, it's Fallout, right? Every Fallout game is always going to have tons and tons of issues. Oh god, just like at 76, look at Fallout 3. Fallout 3 has issues with the green tint. What? I still, to this day, do not understand the green tint. Yes, I know it's supposed to be the Fallout radiation and the radioactive, fallout, but it's just so irritating. It gives me such a headache. It's so off-putting. I know there's mods to take it off, but god, it ruins Fallout 3 for me, even to this day. So with all due respect to Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas and how amazing they were, just nothing can touch Fallout 4's scope and scale. Fallout 4 had the hype around Fallout 76. Fallout 4 was a huge reason why there was so much hype around 76 in the first place. People were like, wow, so I can play a game like Fallout 4 multiplayer with my friends? Yeah, that's great, let's do that. Of course, it didn't go exactly as planned as it is Bethesda, and it's not a bug, it's a feature. But I mean, in my honest opinion, Fallout 4 has set the bar for a lot of Fallout games to come. Story-based, not so much, as like I said earlier, there is a lot of story content that is lacking. But even as it is lacking in story content, what it makes up for is the gameplay mechanics that have increased tremendously from Fallout 3 to Fallout New Vegas to Fallout 4, as it just gets better every time. It's become so much more refined and well polished that the gameplay and the gun mechanics are just so on point. I honestly couldn't imagine if they released a game like Fallout 3 after Fallout 4 in 76. Fallout 4 has forever changed the landscape for the Fallout franchise. Now, is that good or bad? That's going to be on personal preference. Personally, for me, I feel like that's just a great thing always. Is more players coming, which means more content will be for it, especially in the mod center, as community mods have always been such a huge part of Fallout, and especially for even my channel and all the smaller channels. It's that community aspect that really draws people into this franchise and really keeps them coming for more. So the fact that Fallout 4 was able to appeal to so many people just in such a short time, that is a huge win for all Fallout fans everywhere. And as I said earlier, there's no disrespect to Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas is my favorite Fallout even to this day, but when I sit back and look at it, nothing even compares to what Fallout 4 has done for this franchise in total. Nothing can even compare what Fallout 4 has done for this franchise in total, and it's just such a huge mistake that we don't realize it even to this day. We may not fully ever get to grasp it until maybe Fallout 5 comes, if that's, 10 years from now? Especially with them posting so much content for 76 now that Microsoft has bought Bethesda. We are much more likely, at least, to get the Fallout spinoff that we've always wanted. Not New Vegas too, but something kind of like that would actually give us more Fallout content and a different addition to the franchise. And with all the hype and support that Fallout 4 generated, there's no telling what the next Fallout game could truly do. Fallout 76 may be a blemish on the Fallout franchise, but trust me, it is not going to stay that way for long. In my honest opinion, Fallout 4 has propelled this franchise into the upper echelon of gaming. When you think of the Call of Duties and everything like that, the Battlefields, the Dooms, the Halos, it's propelled itself, especially now. Even with the Microsoft purchase, like I said earlier, it's become more and more evident that Fallout has really gained a name for itself. So as Fallout has finally reached the mainstream, my main wonder, not really concern, but my main wonder is, how do they keep it up? There's not too much more they can change. I mean, besides maps and guns like that, there's not a whole lot different that you can go from one Fallout to another. It does make me wonder how long the popularity will keep going for Fallout. And I wouldn't say that, yeah, mainstream is the good word actually. Never mind, we're gonna use mainstream, as there's not a whole lot they can change. And if they continue to get the hype, yeah, maybe then I could see it lasting for, you know, a couple more years as well. But if it's true, like the talks have said, that they plan on waiting years and years and years before the next Fallout, that could be a huge issue for them. And given that Fallout 4 had so much popularity, and yes, they did capitalize on that with 76, I feel like it would be such a missed opportunity to not do a New Vegas 2, you know, kind of style, even though it's just a spinoff, you know, not necessarily New Vegas 2, something in New Orleans or, you know, anywhere else, Alaska, even overseas. That would be a perfect opportunity for them to capitalize, especially what a Fallout 4 has built. A lot of people can agree to this, that it felt like things were getting kind of stale, which was very unfortunate, as Fallout was one of my favorite franchises ever, and before Fallout 4, nothing was happening. Everything seemed very quiet. For the longest time, it seemed like Bethesda didn't want to do anything with the title, even though they were obviously working on it behind the scenes. Everything just seemed very quiet and close to chest. No one knew exactly what was going on. So the fact that now they've built so much hype with Fallout 4, even though they may have lost it with 76, not a whole lot of it, for them to just not capitalize on it and do something else, continuing what Fallout 4 even started, is such a huge missed opportunity. There's no way they can continue this way. Now, as I said earlier, this is all perspective based, and we could completely disagree on this, but my opinion and statement still stands that Fallout 4 is probably the best Fallout game of all time. Not content-wise, not story-wise, but really on what came after it. It's very hard to disagree that Fallout 4 has changed how a lot of Fallouts from the future will play out. And it's something that we can't even ignore at this point. The way I like to think about it is, yes, Fallout 3 put the franchise on the map. New Vegas, you know, about the same. It didn't change very much, as they didn't have much of a time to even produce it. But if you just look at what Fallout 4 did to the series, it completely exploded it, took it mainstream, and there's no going back after that. Now, whether you like it or hate it, that's a whole different question and a whole different video. And actually, the more that I think about it, Fallout 4 changed more than just Fallout. It was one of the first few times that a AAA game like this was announced, and then, oh hey, especially at E3 at least, it was announced, and then, oh hey, yeah, we're releasing this year, by the way, you know, in about a month. Because I do remember around that time before that, it was everything, well, you know, you had the Call of Duties and the Battlefields that were almost yearly. Oh, hey, we're coming out this year. Everyone was fine about that. They knew those were coming. But nothing specifically like Fallout, where they would just, oh yeah, here's what we have. This is coming. There's a little add-on for it. Oh yeah, and it comes out this year, by the way, in a couple months. That is unheard of. And I see more and more of it now with every single game release, how game developers are really holding it close to chest until it's fully timed to, you know, show things. Even though you will get the Cyberpunk blips, even though I'm not counting that one because they announced that back in 2013. That was their fault. Yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know what your favorite Fallout game is. Let me know how you're feeling about Fallout 4. Let me know how you think about 76. I haven't talked to you guys in a long time. It's been quite some time. It feels really good to be back. Expect some normal-ish uploads coming from me for soon. Trying to get back into the no. How long is this? But yeah, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.